So our pool table family is basically complete. It could use a few finishing touches. So in this movie, I would like to add a few more little details to the pool table. And then the real test is to load it into a project and make sure that it's behaving in the project environment the way that we expect. So if you've been following along, you can continue in your own file. Otherwise, this is pool table V2. Probably the most noticeable thing that you'll see here if we look in the 3D view is that most pool tables have that really recognizable green felt on the surface there. So one of the things we can do in the family editor environment is we can select our solid forms and we can actually apply materials to them. So I'm going to select the extrusion that we've used for the pool table surface there, and I'm going to look over here on the properties palette. And if I scroll down a little bit under materials and finishes, you'll see that currently the material is set to by category. Now, I like to affectionately refer to by category as gray cardboard. So right now, the entire pool table is in this gray cardboard category. If I click in there, there's a small little browse button, and I'm going to click that, and that will load up the material browser. Now, there aren't that many materials available in the family editor. And in fact, there's no suitable material here for the gray felt. So what I'm going to do is this small little sphere icon down here with the plus sign next to it. I'll click that, and I can create my own new material. And then I will right-click the new material that appears and rename it. Call it green felt. And all we really need to do is change the color. Now, there's two places we do that, graphics and appearance. Now, you could do it separately on each one, but I'm actually going to click over to appearance. These are the settings that we're going to see when we do rendering. Graphics is what we see in shaded views. I'm going to click here next to color on this big, long gray bar here. You can see that's an RGB value for it right now. And I'll just pick this dark green color here off the basic colors list, click OK. And when I click over here to graphics, I could either remember that number or I can just check this little box right here to say use the render appearance. That's what I'm going to do. So basically it makes the graphics settings match the appearance settings. When we click OK and then deselect, you can see that now the surface of the pool table is shaded in that green felt. Now, one more finishing touch is what pool table would be complete without the cues and the balls and the other accoutrements of gameplay. So I have created a separate family for that purpose, and you can take one family and actually insert it into another family. We typically refer to this as nested families. If we go to the Create tab and click on the Component button, Revit will tell us that we don't currently have any components loaded into this family and we'd like to load one now. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. So I've included this file called Cues and Balls with the exercise files. I'm going to go ahead and select that and click Open. Now this is what we call a face-based family. So as you can see on the tooltip, it says click to place the instance on a face. And if you look up at the ribbon, you can see that the default placement behavior is to place on face. Now, the way that works is you move your mouse around on screen and it will highlight different faces on the existing geometry, and you can place this anywhere you like. The most logical face would be here on the top surface of the pool table, and it's pointing the wrong way, so all I have to do is tap my space bar to rotate it and then just place it in a suitable location with a single click there. Go ahead and press the Modify tool to get out of there, and you can see that we now have our cues and balls added to this pool table. So the last step is to just simply load this pool table into our project environment and make sure that everything's working the way that we expect. So I'm going to go to the Quick Access toolbar here and click the Open icon. I'll open up my condo building. I'm going to zoom in on the rec room area over here. To switch back over to my pool table family, I can use the Switch Windows dropdown on the Quick Access toolbar. Or you can use a shortcut here where you just hold down the Control key and press Tab, and that will actually cycle through the views that you have available on screen. And it doesn't matter which view I open. In this case, it's the 3D view for the pool table, and I'm going to click this Load into Project button right here. That will load the pool table family here into my condo building, and then I can place it wherever I'd like it to go. So I'll put it here in the middle of the rec room, like so. Click the Modify tool to cancel out. And we can see it here in plan, but it might be nicer to see it in 3D. So if you look at your 3D view here, right next to it, there's a small drop down, and I'm going to choose the camera button. Now, the camera button allows me to click a point where I want to stand. So I'm going to stand right about here in this little common area and drag towards where I want to look. And make sure you drag past this back window a little bit so that you'll see the back wall, and then click to place that. I'll zoom out just a touch with the wheel and then use this little grip here to resize that a little bit, and let's turn on shading. And there is our completed pool table family. If you want to just give it a quick test and make sure it's working, I'll select it. Notice here that we've got the 8-foot size. And if I open up the list, there's my 7-foot size. And when I click it, it gets a little bit smaller. And so as you can see, our table is functioning the way that we expect. Congratulations, you've created your first fully parametric Revit family. If you'd like to learn more about the Revit Family Editor, we have a complete course here available on the lynda.com library.